So, Delhi High Court has laid down that right to be forgotten is a part of Article 21 right. They have ordered authorities, search engine operators, to de index and disable their name based search functionality. What does it mean for a country like India where privacy is still developing?
First of all, I would like to congratulate the judge in the Delhi High Court for having done what actually the legislature should have done by now. The legislature should by now regulate the social media in some form or the other to ensure that what they put on their search engines or what is available for access to any individual who are going onto the platform is having the full data at any point of time. So, for instance, if somebody gets convicted in the lower court and ultimately in the appeal or in the Supreme Court he gets a clear acquittal by virtue of the fact that the evidence against him was not sufficient, then it is only the acquittal which stands, and the conviction which was done earlier is of no consequence. More serious are cases where the allegation was only in the form of a charge and it did not culminate into a conviction at all. And the allegation as a charge itself had got so much of publicity that that is available in these search engines with regard to an individual. Many a times the very search engine does not have the data with regard to the acquittal which has happened, and the only data which is available in public domain is the charge which was made, because the charge was made in a very sensational way. It had got more eyeballs and accordingly it still remains to be accessed, and a person's credibility is completely eroded if that data only is available for access without the subsequent data where the person was completely acquitted or where he was found to be not guilty does not come up in the search engine. So I think these are things which are very, very serious, which need to be looked at by the Indian Parliament and bring in a law to regulate these social media platforms. Because what is happening today, and which is a little disturbing, is that the kind of eyeballs that a social media for a particular individual gets at a particular point of time, as far as a trial is concerned, is the determining factor as to whether it will be available later also or not. Now, what is also significant, and we all know this, that it's only the bad news which attracts more eyeballs than a good news. If a person is convicted of a heinous crime or done something very diabolic, and that has taken a lot of eyeballs in the social media, the fact that he was completely acquitted or he had not done anything wrong and that it was a completely false case is in some sense a good news. That is not the news which sells, and accordingly doesn't get the eyeballs and doesn't remain in the public space. In the good old days, when there was only a print media which used to be, available, the public memory used to be very short. Something gets a very sensational presentation in the print media at a particular point of time, and if he gets an acquittal later on, that printed material could not be accessed easily. So, for instance, if you had a Times of India or a Hindustan Times or a Statesman carrying a very big article on some particular incident which has happened in a locality or somebody being charged of an offense, to get that same article again was a difficult task. There was no method by which you could straight away go and access that article unless you went to the office of the newspaper company and say that you give me the publication of a particular day when that had been published and ask for a copy of that day, and then only you could get that access. Today, in this modern age of AI, everything is at the press of a button, and the button only recognizes those retrievable, I would say, data which had got more eyeballs when it was initially launched. So when the eyeballs are not there for the subsequent acquittal, the data with regard to the charge is the only data which remains, which is what is damaging to the individual, and that is why most of these individuals had filed cases for right to be forgotten, saying that that data which ultimately did not result in a conviction, or where that data was completely factually wrong, then that data should not be accessible to anybody to tarnish his image, whether it be for his job or whether it be for his matrimonial or his social profile. It should not be there. But there is one catch which I feel is also very, very important. And I did a very recent case with regard to a lawyer who was charged of a very serious offense of fabricating documents. And he was ultimately acquitted. He was a powerful member of the Bar Council of Punjab. He was ultimately acquitted by virtue of a compromise that he entered into with the victim. And in my view, those cases should not be permitted to be forgotten, because those are cases where that hapless victim had to run from pillar to post to get his FIR registered firstly. And then he had to again run from pillar to post to get the matter properly investigated, just because that lawyer was a very powerful lawyer. And after having suffered all that, if he decides to settle the matter by taking some compensation because he feels that he has no hope from the system, then that kind of acquittal should not inure to the benefit of somebody to claim that he has a right to be forgotten. So I think I would say, uh, examination of the merits of the acquittal should be seen vis-a-vis the nature of the crime and how the acquittal ultimately happened. So if there is no evidence, or the person who claimed to be the victim could not prove his case, and there was a clean acquittal, I can understand that case, those kind of cases claiming the right to be forgotten. But in cases where there is no clean acquittal, where there was material, but only because one party was very powerful and he could ultimately make the other party surrender to whatever he was wanting as a part of a settlement, there will have to be ultimately a law for this to have somebody taking a conscious call of what are those cases where a person has the right to be forgotten doctrine in his favor, and where it should not be permitted. Because in my view, the right of the public to know where somebody has committed a very heinous crime, and only because of his power and because of his influence he is able to get that matter closed. Like in fact, this wrestling federation chairman, that young girl who was a minor and who had made a case under POSCO. Now, when a POSCO case is registered and the arrest does not happen, and if the minor girl's father decides to take back the case only because he realizes that there is no hope for him in the system because of the power and the clout of the accused, then those are not cases where this right to be forgotten should be permitted to be applied. So I think it's a very evolving space, and this evolving space has to be clearly defined to ensure that this right to be forgotten should not be taken advantage of by people who have used their clout and their power to get cases closed against them or cases settled with the victims.